Hello, beautiful souls. Teresa Countman here with the Woo Report. So let's get into this. Interesting about the Schumann resonance, the chart. Did we have a timeline shift? I think we did. Based on the evidence of what a time shift would entail. And this clearly we had a chance. I think last week was a fateful week. I would like to do a review on this and put in that evidence as the timeline shift. With Charlie Kirk's death and things that we saw and these decisions we had to make. So together as a collective, we could go this way or that way from that fateful day. And my card showed that fateful day. I didn't know what would happen that day on the 10th, but all I said was, got to pay really close attention for the collective. 3 days, 3 cards, major arcana cards are in a draw. You need to pay close attention. And I just said, kind of hedged it, like all prophetic people probably do, with there's layers, there could be layers, but I said we'll see if this is a fateful day for the collective, because the moon was the foundation of my draw. The vibration was the 9 of Pentacles. The challenge was the sun, and the outcome was the fates, or the Wheel of Fortune, the fates in the deck. So I'm going to do a whole, I asked some questions and did a draw on did we go through a timeline shift? And I have that, I use this deck, which is my serious deck. I do this one for myself. It's really really interesting deck, and the whole philosophy behind it. It's a Thoth deck. It takes Egyptian and a whole bunch of ancient occult knowledge and puts it into the deck. It's really, really interesting. Aleister Crowley, we share the same birthday. So anyway, very interesting. The energy chart, and of course this energy chart is really for yesterday's draw. So this was from 10 a.m. yesterday until 10 a.m. This morning. And that would be yesterday's cards, yesterday's draw. So at 5 o'clock we had this thing going on here, which seems to me to be, looks like double crossed. And that was kind of interesting. Today's guidance going forward is like, this is something we have to watch for. Being double crossed. And maybe that is like double crossed, like when you find yourself in this new timeline. Are you in the bad one? I don't want to be there in the bad. The bad. So, yeah, very interesting. So, and then at 7 p.m. was this, what you could deem as a timeline shift. So I'm going to get into that in detail right away. I'm going to do that right after I get done with this draw and work on my interpretation for my 3 cards. So we'll see. And I'm really interested in seeing what the draw means. I can give you a little pre. The first card was is the question card. Is it a timeline shift? Was there? And it's this card, which is called the Ace of Discs. And it means the Ace of Discs is not only earth but matter. Per contra, the disc is the whirling symbol of space. The disc is winged to indicate its spiritual origin. Was it? Are we measuring spirit when we measure the Schumann resonance? The pulse of what's going on? Can we see a timeline shift? I think it's very, very interesting. Not fact, I don't know. I have no idea why this blackout occurred. We'll probably never get that energy back. And that would have been like 2 days ago. That would kind of be a good reading. This is the 21st to the 22nd at 10 a.m. So this one was the 20th to the 21st. So the 20th to the 21st. The whole time thing, I wish it was just a straight on 24 hours, but that's not how we're 7 hours behind their measurements. So it's like line it up with the Schumann resonance. Maybe I'll just go look at one of my videos. Just that would probably be the better way, because my little things are so messed up. I need to clean this out every day. Not every day, but at least once a week. The OBS, you can get all these layers. All these layers. So I'm gonna like try to bring up the draw that was for not the 21st, which we're looking at now, but the oh, it was I really like that we had a new one on that day that I hadn't seen at all since I started the 23rd, which was actually I believe, I don't know if we had the Ace of Cups before, but I had the Page of Cups was the new one. So with that vibration, so this is going towards the blackout. This one was for this day here, and this and this. So from 10 a.m. here to 10 a.m. here. So the 20th to the 21st. See what I said there on the notes. The notes on the 20th. Yeah, it was Saturday. So Saturday at 10 till Sunday to 10. And I spent a little extra time on the pretty thumbnail. I really thought it was nice. So, for some reason my view is big. Like zoomed away. I just want 100%. Okay. So, that spread for the blackout time. What did it say? What was our guidance? Today, asked the collective to soften. Page of Cups, but also face where we're still clinging. Four Pentacles. The challenge is the Ace of Cups, opening fully to love, trust, and spiritual renewal. If we didn't open, we didn't go on the right timeline. The outcome, Ten of Wands, says burdens are reaching a tipping point. Maybe when our energy as a collective gets to a tipping point, we split. It's that idea. I'm trying to make sense of this. The hidden sex of Pentacles says relief comes from reciprocity. I'm glad you're not seeing this. Reciprocity. Those are, my lips don't want to do that. I was half English, half Ebonics growing up. Sharing the load, balancing, giving and receiving. The Seven of Wands and Nine of Swords clarify why it feels heavy. We've been defensive, anxious, and carrying more than our share. And this goes right into today's reading. So really interesting. The eclipse tomorrow amplifies the call to release burdens and illusions. Today is about preparing the heart to walk into a new cycle unburdened. Was that new cycle yesterday? A timeline shift at 7 p.m. I don't know, but the cards could go that way. Okay, now I'm getting preachy. This is starting to really resonate with me. So it's all started as an experiment to see, match up the cards to the energy, to a weekly, to a monthly. So very interesting. And I am going to go into this deeper. So that was just like a foretaste of that. Very interesting. I'm just excited about doing that. See, now I got to turn that off because that was not today's. Was for Saturday to Sunday, Saturday at 10 till Sunday at 10, that blackout period. And let's call that, I'm going to read the 20th. So 1 to the 20th to the 21st. And the one that I have active right now until 10 is still relevant, but it's only until 10 a.m. So they go from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. Still confusing in that regard. But so when I come, I had this all ready to go, and I didn't test my mic, even though it looked like it was working. It looked like it was on green light. It was not. Lesson learned after almost a month. Tomorrow will be my month day of doing this. Do a test video, a test run, test. This is a test of the emergency broadcast system. If this were a real emergency, I would tell you where to go. That's one of my tests. Okay, so interesting about the timeline shift. And this energy is not my new draw. This energy would relate to the draw on the 21st. So that was the draw on the 21st at 10 a.m. So this is for the timeline shift, actually, this one right here. Yesterday's draw goes from, get my little thing out, goes from here to here. So I did this one before I went to church yesterday. And interesting, the whole church thing. Oh my gosh. It made me think, too, another indication that the timelines have changed or the collective has shifted. It's, totally it seemed like a different place. Anyway, so with this, let's look at this draw with this in mind, looking at the energy that was, that is, that we're not seeing, and we're not seeing this. It will be around 10 o'clock where we can get the full energy. That's why I like to do a later one, because then I can see after the chart is updated, then we can actually do the post-mortem. How did this draw line up to that energy? So this draw was for yesterday for the timeline shift. So it's really important. So if it's important, I'm going to go through this, but I plan on changing my format to get the new guidance for people who follow me and just want to hear it and they know all the background. Good. But there's other people who want to go more in depth in the more deep dive and finding out more and learning more about this. And this is a journey for me, and I hope it's interesting to you also as an experiment in the energy. Can we intuitively find out what's happening in our universe? Is the woo real? That's the question. Is the woo real? I think it is. I'm getting more and more evidence of that. So, excuse me. Children, do not smoke when you're younger. If you're smoking now, quit. Okay, so would this indicate a timeline shift? We do have still the work needed. The only thing I would say from yesterday to today, yesterday reminded us that persistent and authentic work is a foundation of this month with the Eight of Pentacles. The star outcome gave hope, but only after walking away. from illusions. So to me, that would say, could indicate we walked away. You could choose to walk away from those illusions and that a new timeline was created. That was really interesting. And the hidden energy, which was the Two of Cups, not the Two of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, the Mary Poppins one, I call it. So the Two of Pentacles, the hidden card, Two of Pentacles says, beneath the surface is juggling, balancing, adapting. Many are holding two realities at once. Old ways and new possibilities. This hidden dance can be draining if unacknowledged. Well, maybe the universe acknowledged it and gave us a timeline spot. And maybe they're so subtle that we don't see them and we feel them and we know that we're living these two realities. But then we don't realize when the changes are taking place, these layers. So really interesting. And the moon was one of the clarifiers. Illusions, hidden fears were still at play and still are until will end at 10 a.m. today. Remind us the path to the star, truth and hope, is collaborative, but we must see through fog and projection. And maybe this new timeline is when enough of us do, we get a change. I don't know, the collective slipstream kind of a thing that I've talked about, and that I should give a link to Cliff's High's discussion of that. I love his little drawings on his whiteboard. It's really, really interesting. And, you know, what he says just puts like validation to what you already are feeling and thinking, putting like making it more concrete in your theory of everything. So I really appreciate Cliff High. So really interesting. So, but a lot of people are here for today's, and today's is really interesting also. So let me get to today's. But today, let's get our. No, it's not today's. It's the Schumann resonance we can get, and we were blind for a while, and we still have a little area that we can't see in the Schumann resonance blackout. Okay, so this is today, and I do a.
Your king is Jackson has 3 hours.
It's not a good video this time. I messed up big time. The last card, the hidden card. It didn't show up. Okay, so today's root is the Three of Pentacles, and the foundation. We can go to the flow from yesterday to today, but you don't know what today's are yet, all of them. So let's just do card by card. The Three of Pentacles is the foundation. It's about collaboration, teamwork, shared vision. The weekly devil influence. Beware of dynamics that trap or explode instead of empower. Here is our weekly card, a new card today for Monday. Current vibration is the Creatrix, which is another indication to me that this may be the new day, the new timeline day. The field hums with raw creative potential. Tools and opportunities are available to us, but willpower and integrity are needed to use them wisely. And I've been hammering it into everybody's head that in America we have so much. We all have these cameras, we all have abilities to create, but we have to do it. We have to do the work. Not armchair, wanting to disrupt systems. Sure, we need to clean things up and blah, 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 and I go through all that stuff too, but we have lots of raw material at our disposal. What are you going to do with it? Okay. And then you have to use them wisely. The challenge is the Page of Pentacles, which is also in our monthly draw. The stumbling block is immaturity, hesitation, or lack of grounded learning. The page wants to study, but may be distracted or naive. So, yeah, we have a lot of that. You can see that. So, this is no big revelation in what's happening in the collective. But a lot of grounded work was done. And maybe that is too part of what that grounded work study depended on what timeline you go down with the collective, which flow. So many people after Charlie Kirk's death actually listened to him and realized he wasn't what they thought. But now then they had to realize, and I hope some of them came to some realizations that, yeah, we have been telling you the news is lying to you. Fox News lies to you. They have a corporate daddy. They may, for ratings, they may try to have a little bit. I know they were the first one to talk about and bring out the story on Bush Jr.'s DUI. Yeah. So you have to realize, and if they do it, they're only trying to keep viewers. So Fox has to keep viewers that are discerning and are listening to other sources that are digging into like facts, receipts, you want to call them that. So all the people who are saying Charlie Kirk was all this and all that cannot give you a 10-minute video of him. He has numerous videos with videos in context of him being hateful and being a scary person. They cannot prove that at all. By what he said, by what he wrote, by who he associated with, none of it. So, whereas people who are being called Nazis and Hitlers can say some from 2020, there's clips you can say, that's how Nazis dehumanize people. And it would be your duty to kill us and to kill Charlie Kirk if we were all Nazis and fascists. Do you know what? Fascists kill their enemy for scary words, even though Charlie Kirk's weren't. But that's how they dehumanize people and make it okay to kill them. And we've seen people were gleeful about his death, which was despicable. So this could be another timeline. If people did, have some learning and some realizations, maybe they got to come on to, we're in this new timeline, darn a new timeline, a better one. Or maybe they're going to stay in the one. I assume my first inclination, if this is a timeline split, what would happen to the others? In one timeline's going to go down the timeline of Venezuela, but it's going to be way different. I'm going to go into that in another video about the timeline split. I'm going to do that today. I promise. Unless something horrible happens. Something horrible. Or, technical difficulties or whatever. But I'm going to get that done. Okay, God willing. So today we, okay, so that was the Page of Pentacles. I don't want to get into the flow of yesterday's to today. So the outcome is the King of Swords, and this is maybe the outcome of the new timeline I'm on. I'm part of the collective. If the timeline shifted, I'm on a new timeline. And you're on this timeline with me if you're listening to me. So we might have some things in common. Hopefully we do. Now, I don't think I have a lot in common with the management of YouTube and Google. I do think they're part of the corporate thing. I'm going to be talking about that timeline with them, what they're going to do, these futures, in the timeline talk. That will be today. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. I'll let AI help me. You have to double check all AI stuff, but AI has been helping me with things, and that's surprisingly, since I think you would think it would be a lot more lefty leaning. Anyway, so the King of Swords is the outcome. Oh, is he a doer, my friend? A doer. He has a pen and a sword. Ooh. So the collective is being pushed towards discernment, logic, truth, and clear decision making. No more fog. This is about claiming authority in thought and word. That is really interesting that that is the outcome today. And obviously, if you are in this new timeline, that you've made it through and you're here. I don't know if other people, if there's a time period where people have a chance to get on board the timeline or if it's shut. It's like those portals they talk about, you know, like these eclipses and stuff. So I did do I wanted to do two meditations. Maybe I'll be able to finish the other ones today since I don't have anything busy to do until tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be really busy for me, and I don't know if I can keep up with I did during my break. So we'll see. So the King of Swords is pushing us to this authority, and that's going to be one of the questions I'm going to have in my intuitive read of because when we were doing the Pisces keyhole meditation, I did that. It was like it was an arrow, like the eye of a needle. Your spirit's going to be able to pass through, but nothing else. So I don't know if, like, when we go into a new timeline, if once we're there, we're there. I'm not sure. That is like, I kind of want people to be there with me, but I don't think so, because I think if you're of the other side, you didn't really go there, but part of your person is here. So I guess part of us is over there. It is so confusing, but which part of me is here and which part of you is here? Did we split too, or are we going into singularity, like losing less and less people in these timelines? Be interesting though. We'll do a more in-depth, and I have to write that down so I can remember to, is there a time limit in the timeline? You know, you're choosing, or did we already choose and that caused the timeline to split? Okay, so the hidden card is, okay, so the Queen of Swords, we're claiming authority. I see that in my life. This is nothing, this whole week, this has been a fateful week. A fateful week last week. So maybe even a fateful month. And people have been saying that about like the August, since August 23rd, started these the seasons, the moon seasons and the eclipses and all that. And what I thought was interesting when I did that study was I started on the 23rd, so of August, started this channel. And my first video, they do look a little bit better, so I'm getting better. They look a little bit better. I don't know, and I feel more confident in the information, and I'm learning more about my process because I had to set up a whole process that I had never done before. I'd never read tarot cards for the collective. So interesting. I had dreams about the collective this month. I've been so busy with this, but I would like to get into the dreams. Maybe I should just read them. I want to put them to images, to video, but it's, hard. AI is not that great. I wish it was my mind. I could just like tell them, this is what I want. This is how my dream was. Now put it into a video. We're gonna have some weird stuff if that happens. So anyway, so with that, the hidden card is the Ten of Wands, which I did not put in there because I'm a bad video. I wish I would have better health in the new timeline, but I'm still coughing. And people don't smoke. So, the hidden card was the Ten of Wands. Beneath it lies overwork and burden. That card again, that feeling. Many feel that they're carrying everyone else's load. A hidden message, lighten the load or risk burnout. We could be feeling that way. I'm back. I don't want to cough on the camera. I really don't. Where am I? So, okay. So the hidden card is the Ten of Wands. So we are feeling overburdened, and we need to lighten the load or risk burnout. And how could this apply to the new timeline? Maybe we are taking on other people's burdens that aren't here anymore or something. Their energy is going to dissipate. We don't have as much conflicting, maybe. I don't know. I really do hope we don't go down that other timeline. Okay, so the weekly card is the Devil. Collective entanglements, unhealthy patterns, systems of control. Today's clarifiers, the 7 plus the 3 of swords, echo this perfectly. The devil often manifests as manipulation, betrayal, or contracts that bind. So does this come into like we have changed our contract? And now this is we're holding to something different, or some people are going to have, I'm not sure how this would play into my theory of we're in a new timeline. But there are entanglements in all these timeline things, you know that. So their system of control right now from all different areas. I believe more importantly than Trump is a Nazi, it's that the corporations, and they're the big problem in tech with certain aspects of the government and world government that want to control who makes the money, who is going to be living on drop-off corporate biscuits, their horrible food. Our kids are eating horrible corporate slop. Okay, talk about that so much. Anyway, so monthly theme, Eight of Pentacles is the root of the month, and it is our mind, the right hand. So, we're trying to tie-ins. So, Eight of Pentacles, the root of the month, which was yesterday's foundation, which kind of brought me back to why some of the timeline shifts. Consistency and showing up still matters. The Three of Pentacles, which was our first card. The Three of Pentacles lines up with that today, and it builds on that theme, not just personal work, but collective work done with integrity. So is this our new timeline, I hope. Collective work we're going to do with integrity. And we have seen so many people not operating out of integrity. I was very, incensed and insulted by Jasmine Crockett saying that she is afraid when she's in white communities, afraid for her life as a Black woman. Okay, how many Black women are being strung up Now, there's some vigilantes out there that if you go in their community doing some crap, you might just find yourself being hurt. They're not just going to run after you and say, oh, this woman shouldn't be in our community. If you get on a bus in my community, most you could certainly, not every time, but you most certainly could be on a bus where you're going to be with all white people. No, I don't think so. You're always going to probably have an Asian. Island Pacificers are number one minority here in the Seattle area. But so with that, I think if you had the cameras, you would see people standing up for old people, letting them sit down, or for pregnant people, or people with small children, and those kind of things. You're going to see some kindness. That's what I want my community to be like, and that's where the community is going to be the most like that where I move. I am trying to look for a place. Maybe this new timeline will be more helpful for me. That the housing will be less expensive so I can take some of the equity out of my house here and use it for my retirement, to live on for my old age. And let's see, so that's interesting. Our monthly lesson was New Perspectives, a Hanged Woman. So pause, perceptive shift. Today's challenge is the Page of Pentacles. May feel slower and mature, but this aligns with the month's reminder, learning requires patience. And the monthly challenge was the Nine of Swords. Anxiety is highlighted again today with the Three of Swords, which reflects the monthly challenge. The collective must face heartbreak without being consumed by fear. So really good reading today. And with the energy tie-in, September 22nd, which is today, is the equinox, the fall equinox. As the sun enters Libra, yay Libra, me and Aleister Crowley have the same birthday. Balance truth with relational dynamics. They are emphasized. This resonates with the King of Swords outcome, clarity and fairness. Mercury continues to oppose Neptune, fog and illusion versus truth and discernment. This matches the Seven of Swords clarifier perfectly. Venus enters Virgo soon, grounding feminine energy into practicality and service. Expect themes of discernment in love, work, and values. So we're having some discernment and some, wide awake, eyes wide open moments in our love life, and our work, and in our values. And some people work towards political ends. So we had some wide awake moments for that too. And I'm not saying everybody come join the Republican Party, but the Libertarian Party is more where I stand, because neither party is going to do away and repose, walk back, and get rid of one of the worst amendments ever. It really upset the checks and balances of our country, and it was almost like a takeover, the 17th Amendment, and it put into place the Federal Reserve Act. It was a bankers amendment, corporate amendment, and then we got the cherry on the cake for them with the Federal Reserve Act. So with that guidance, today's guidance is the collective is moving through the shadow. We're doing that shadow work, and hopefully maybe if we did it and we're doing it, we already moved or we're going to move. I'm not sure if we get that portal of time. It's just for that moment. Collaboration, Three of Pentacles, like we need to do the work before the timeline shift. Collaboration, the Three of Pentacles can build wonders, but the devil warns of contracts, deals, or entanglements that bind us. The King of Swords is the medicine, fairness, truth, and clear boundaries. Be wary of deception, heartbreak. The Seven and Three of Swords, release burdens that aren't yours. The Ten of Wands, step into conscious creation. The Creatrix, with integrity and clarity. So if this is a new timeline, that would be perfect that we do that. And the affirmation for today is, I see deception with clarity. I release burdens that are not mine. In truth and in balance, I co-create the future. We are creating the future of our lives and the collective's life. So let's do that today with integrity and in truth. And I will see you hopefully soon, and you'll come watch the video about the tournament. Yeah. Talk to you soon.